everybody, Brickhouse here, and little Hollywood news. Zachary Levi. I remember Zachary Levi playing Chuck on the NBC series Chuck. Love that show. I wish it would have gone more than 7 seasons. Most recently, you could probably remember him as Billy Batson, aka Shazam, in the 2 Shazam movies that have been released in the last few years. The last one didn't do so well at the box office. Shazam Fury of the Gods. But he's been a little outspoken here recently. Ran across this article on Bounding Into Comics. Zachary Levi blasts Hollywood, says studios churn out garbage because they don't care. This is from John Trent. Actor Zachary Levi, who recently started the box office bomb Shazam Fury of the Gods, shared his thoughts that Hollywood studios are constantly churning out garbage. Or as I like to say, crap. Because they simply don't care. Yes, that's right. They don't care. They don't care about you, me, the audience. They're more interested in putting out something that pushes out a message rather than entertain. And I'll have a few examples of that as we get further down in the article. As reported by Entertainment Weekly, Levi made an appearance at Fan Expo Chicago on Saturday, where he shared, I personally feel like the amount of content that comes out of Hollywood that is garbage. They don't care enough to actually make it great for you guys. They don't. How many times do you watch a trailer and go, oh my God, that looks so cool? Then you go to the movie and it's like, this is what I get? They know that once you've already bought the ticket and you're in the seat, they've got your money. As far as how to change this, Levi posited, whatever you want to call it. And the only way for us to change any of it is to not go to the garbage. He added, we have to actively choose not choose the garbage. It'll help a lot. Levi's assessment of the situation appears to be a surface level analysis of the problem that's been plaguing Hollywood for years. Combat Frame X-Seed and Soul Cycle novelist Brian Niemeyer assessed back in 2016, way back when, that the primary reason Hollywood is churning out garbage is because Hollywood hates its own audience. That's pretty much right. Hollywood does hate its own audience. After noting that one of the key societal functions that storytelling serves is explaining a culture to itself, Niemeyer points out that American culture has fragmented into 2 distinct classes, the common underclass and the ruling elite. Niemeyer posits Hollywood is firmly in the latter camp. Given American culture is fragmented, Hollywood is no longer able to tell stories that explain the culture of the common underclass because they are no longer part of it, but rather they are the ruling elite. Thus, this ruling elite resorts to pushing propaganda through their films in an attempt to indoctrinate moviegoers to the worldview. Who does that? Disney comes to mind. I'm sure there are other studios that do that too. Like Warner. Just saying. To illustrate these points, Niemeyer points to J.J. Abrams' Undercover's television show and how the director approached the casting of the show that he relayed to Jeff Garlin on the By the Way podcast way back in 2013. This is J.J. Abrams. We wrote the characters, but when we went to cast it. One of the things I had felt, having been to the Emmys a couple times, you look around the room and you see the whitest effing room in the history of time. It's just unbelievably white. I just thought, we're casting this show and we have an opportunity to do anything we want. Why not cast a show with actors of color? Like, not for sure. And if we can't find the actors who are great, we shouldn't. But why don't we make that effort? Because it wasn't written that way. And isn't that the cooler version of doing this as opposed to saying this is an urban show? It effing kills me when they call something an urban movie like it's a separate thing. Like, it's that thing over there. Over there. Over by there. Now, one of the more recent examples is the new live-action Snow White. And how Rachel Ziegler, who is Snow White in the new Snow White movie, she's gone on to describe the prince as a stalker. That's right, the 1937 animated classic Prince Charming is a stalker. And reveals the live action is not about the love story, but is more focused on Snow White's inner journey that she goes on to find her true self. Say hello to Girl Boss. The film also appears to eschew the moral lesson, vanity, in favor of a lecture about what it means to be fair in terms of justice. Hello, social justice. Hollywood, especially the Walt Disney Company, also has a penchant for raising up female characters at the expense of the male characters. Characters such as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, the Terminator, John Connor, Nick Fury, and others are poorly depicted as deadbeats, losers, and failures. In the case of John Connor, he was, we'll just say, eliminated. In their place are female characters like Rey, Grace, Danny Ramos, Gaia, and Sonya Falsworth, who are depicted as heroes, saviors, and successes. Girl boss, girl boss, girl boss, girl boss, girl boss. Most recently, they did this with Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, showing Indiana as someone who had given up even to the point that he did not want to return to his own timeline despite the risk to reality. In Disney fashion, they had Phoebe Waller-Bridge, her character, Miss Helena Shaw, punch him in the face, knock him out, and drag him back to the original timeline. Indiana Jones had to be knocked out by a woman in order for reality to be saved. And if the films alone weren't obvious in how much Hollywood hates moviegoers, one need only look at the comments from many of the people who are making the films. Rian Johnson, let me describe critics of his The Last Jedi as man babies. James Gunn accused one fan of having racist presumptions for disliking race replacements such as the one in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with the High Evolutionary. Brie Larson, who was insufferable as Captain Marvel in Captain Marvel, infamously said she was uninterested in the opinions of 40-year-old white men. I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what the film meant to women in color, or to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial. And for the third time, I don't hate white dudes. These are just facts. These are not my feelings. Larson went on to advocate for inclusion writers in film contracts. So there you have examples of Hollywood having a dislike of the fans. Oh yes, and as Zachary Levi said, putting out garbage. So what do you guys think? What do you make of Zachary Levi's comments? You think he's hit the nail on the head? Hit the target? Tell me in the comment section down below. While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to get notified when my content's available here on YouTube. And as always, thank you for taking the time to watch, and I will see you later.